Hey again, everyone. It's nice to see you. And boy, do I have a surprise for you today. Believe I have created something that is completely exclusive, that has not been done before. I've searched the internet far and wide. I've definitely found some good automations that help me put this together. But what I'm sharing with you today, I do believe is revolutionary, and I think it's something that will help your marketing game and your sales game. It's like, imagine having the ability to have an AI assistant that goes out and researches a prospect in your database, in your spreadsheet, in your CRM, wherever you keep all those guys. Maybe they came to your website and they filled out a form and you want to follow up with them, like immediately follow up. Well, with this automation, you could set it on automatic follow up. You could follow up with one click. And what you're following up with is amazing. You're following up with an email that is branded in your colors, that has a video of the prospect's website, and an avatar that is in front of the video that explains your services, yes, your services, and how they match up to the prospect that the avatar is talking about. This is revolutionary. It is absolutely amazing. It is an avatar video email. It can be you as an avatar. It can be, and I'm talking about Synthesia. That's where we're going to get these avatars from. They are premium avatars, a million different types of voiceovers. Again, you can create your own, then they mimic your own voice. I'll share mine with you, but I can't really say anymore. I'm just going to show you the product. I'm going to show you the end product right now, and I hope it blows you away.
Hey there, Troy. Thanks for visiting the AI Marketing Automation Lab. I am Kelly's AI assistant, Julia. Kelly asked me to look at your business to see if there is any way we can help you. I noticed Heavenly Greens offers a great showroom experience and financing options. To boost customer acquisition, many businesses are using AI to create personalized video emails. This could showcase your artificial turf products virtually, reaching more potential customers efficiently. Our video email system could help you create engaging, customized outreach at scale, potentially increasing your lead conversion rates and expanding your market reach beyond the Bay Area. If you'd like more info, I'm happy to help. Just click the book appointment link on this page to set up a meeting with Kelly.
So that's Julia. She's my AI assistant. I mean, how cool is that? It is so awesome. And what you're looking at here is like, you can brand the template. So you can brand it to be, your branding colors. So you see the click here to book a meeting, like that's the color green that I use. And you could also customize that to say anything. Then there's the body copy. We have some generic copy there, but you can put anything that you want, get as customized as you need to. And then you could also see up in the top left, you could see the logo, the beaker logo that we got going on. So yeah, how crazy is that video? Julia is actually one of their stock avatars that they have there. And that is just showing you the incredibility that Synthesia, because she comes from Synthesia, has. So now I'm going to show you something that is also possible when creating this, and it's essentially me. I had my own avatar created with Synthesia, and it also has my voice because it tries to mimic your voice as much as possible, except there are specific rules that you need to follow that I did not. You're not supposed to take your hand movements up past a certain way. You're supposed to, just not be over the top with your facial expressions, but I'm over the top with it all. Like, my hands are already up here. I can't not talk with my hands. But I'm gonna show you that, and you're just gonna see a lot of this, and a little twisted faces here and there. So yeah, take a peek. I will be redoing it.
Hey there, Jeremy. Thanks for visiting the AI Marketing Automation Lab. I am Kelly's AI avatar. I noticed your website has a great pest library and detailed service pages. To boost customer acquisition, many pest control companies are using AI to analyze common pest issues in specific areas.
So, I mean, how are we doing this? You got to be wondering that right now. So I'm going to take you behind the scenes of this video here, and we're going to build the whole thing out first. So let's talk about our Airtable. This is a continuation of the social media automation machine that we've been working with since day one. So we just added on to this Airtable again. And we start just by adding another table called avatars. And I'll show you where we get these avatars from. This is a high quality business professional type avatar. These are not schlocky free items. I think I just created a new word there. These are really for business to business outreach. So we built a table out of avatars that we want to use. And in this column here, we have a list of our services, and we have the industries we're targeting. With each different avatar right here, it's generic, but you can also change and customize your services based on the industry that you'll be targeting. Then we have our video outreach table. And this here pulls in which avatar we want to use. So we have our prospect's first name, email address, and website URL. Now this could actually be integrated with a CRM system like HubSpot or any other system. It could even be a spreadsheet, but we like using Airtable for everything. And then we pull in the avatar for each one that we want to use. So say for this one we want to use Ryan in a bar restaurant. Okay, Ryan. After that, we fire off our script writer. So this will pull the client's URL information, and it checks to see if there's a valid website, which is what we really need to know. If there's not, it will let you know that there's no valid website address. And if it senses no website address, it'll just produce a generic script that you might have set up for the system. Once it gets over here, it does a website summary, and it writes the script, and then it does a video description. Then in here, the script gets populated, and we have the option to approve it. So we look at the script, and we told it to stay within 100 words. So we have like a 43-second script right here that was generated. We don't want to go too long, but then once your script's approved, you give it a thumbs up. And then the next automation fires off after the script's approved. So now in this one's actually going to create the video. So again, it's going to be checking for a valid URL. If there is a valid URL, it will route this way. And it's using page pixels to take a screenshot. Then it's taking that screenshot and uploading it to Synthesia, where the video is getting produced. And then it waits for the video to be produced, and then it publishes it onto your custom video page. And then it populates the Airtable again with the video link. You can see that right here. So the final video link comes in there with your branding, your logo, and all the information. And this is what gets sent out to the client. So let's jump in a little bit more. Well, first step is you're going to need an account with Synthesia or Synthesia. I'm not really sure how to say that yet, but I do love them. It's the best of the best when it comes to avatar platforms I found. Really good quality. It'll be one that you want to show off your brand with. I would recommend this. So the account that you're going to need is the creator account, because this is the account that allows you to have your branded video page. It also gives you more minutes to use. And then once you have that account, you have the ability to use their avatars. Oh, see, those are my avatars up there. You can create your own, which is really easy. It was fun to do. Again, I'm going to redo mine because I was too animated in my avatar. Hand gestures, facial expressions, but you have an avatar builder, and it's something that we haven't actually tried yet, but look at all these preloaded avatars. They're great, but these ones actually have backgrounds already, and for the videos that we'll be creating, we need ones with no backgrounds, because they'll be on green screens that are overlaid with the client's website. So we want to make sure we look at these guys, and they have a lot of avatars to choose from. And you don't have to go with their default voices either. You can pick other voices and combine them. So then with these avatars, you can customize the avatar yourself. To customize the avatar is right up here. You click Customize Avatar, and then you get taken to this page here, and then you can pick any one of these avatars and customize them. So we chose her, Alex. You can change the color of the blouse. We're going to go with some vintage vibe orange. Apply that color. Look at that. And then you can click generate the avatar. I mean, this is very, very simple to do that I'm showing you. But then, you can go ahead and use her. So this is a really, really cool platform. You can combine different voices, like I said. Look, we can go in here. There's a crazy amount of voices. You can actually use your own voice. It's just a great platform. So the next platform you're going to need is Page Pixels. And I'm currently using the free version of Page Pixels. And again, as for all our automations, you're going to need Airtable. And and if you haven't joined My Skool yet, the AI Marketing Automation Lab, if you join, you actually get access to these templates with one click. So with one click, you can get the Airtable, and with one click, you can also get the Make automation. And boom, just like that, you don't have to build it, and it's all set up for you. So you'll need make.com. So let me show you this. We're going to go through this step by step. So how do we build this? So we're going to start with Airtable, and you can start with a clean table if you want, or you can add on to the social media automations that we've created before. But what we're going to do right now is create a table called avatars, and the first field that we're going to create here is going to be a single line text field. The next column is going to be another single line text field, and we're going to call that avatar ID. And this field is going to be an attachment. And this one is the one that will show the photos of our avatars and which ones we'll be using. So the way to get those images in there is basically through copy and paste, just old school, just drop them in. So, we're taking a little screenshot of the avatar image and we're throwing it in there. Now this one is another single line text view for avatar name. And this is the actual name that the avatar will speak when it introduces itself. So whatever you want to call your avatar, just place it in here, and that's what it'll call itself. Now, you don't have to do this part right here. I've added industry again, a single line text field, because I wanted to make it flexible for if I'm targeting different industries. I can change our service offerings based on those industries. But if you're just doing generic, or you have like one industry you're going after, and you don't want to be bothered with that, you can just have one service offering, and you can hardwire this into the Make automation itself. I prefer not hardwiring long form text into the Make automation, because if I want to edit something, I want to be flexible. I love my Airtable for that reason. But it's a lot easier just to edit outside of the Make automation. So this field, again, our service, is a long text field. An avatar scale, this is actually very important. So I find that the default scale for these avatars is 1, and that's too big. At 1, the avatars without the background just seem huge, like huge heads over your client's website. And it just doesn't look good. So you can adjust the scale here for each avatar based on how you like it. So I find 0.8 is a good scale for the avatars with no backgrounds, the ones that are going to appear in front of the screenshots. So for avatars that have a background, you have to go with 1. Otherwise, it's just going to be a reduced video size. In here, the avatar ID is the number that you're going to get from Synthesia. You get this by hovering over the avatar. You want to go to the avatar, click here, copy ID. And then once you copy that over, you paste that into the avatar field right here. That will tell the Make automation which avatar to use when it's generating the video. So cool. So this is the avatar table. Now, once you have that built out, we need to go and build the table where we're actually going to bring in our prospects and clients in the first name, email address, and website URL. This is the table that the Make automation is going to access. So this field here, again, this is going to be a single line text field. Email address is actually an email field. The website URL is actually a URL field. Look at that. Now the avatar, this is a link field. We're going to link this to another record, and it's going to be linked to the avatar's table. And this is going to be a lookup field. And you could see that by the little magnifying glass, if you could see that at all. And you could say, okay, what are we looking up? We're looking up the avatar from the avatar table, and we want the avatar. And that'll pull in the photo. This is just another lookup field. And for this one, we want to pull in the avatar ID. Now, we will just let it auto name itself. Okay, run script field. So this is a single select field. And we just put in 3 items here: new, run, and done. with setting new as a default option. This is going to be a long text field, and this is where the make automation will return the final script. And you can enable rich text formatting if you want. The video description is here if you see that line, and there's a couple of sentences there. You can make yours more than mine. It's also generated by the make automation. So this is just a long form field called video description. Published video, again, this is a URL field. This is where the make automation is going to return the video. And that video will be fully published, and it'll be published in Synthesia, which means that it will give you a URL that you can share with people, and only people that have that URL can actually get to the video. Now this is a checkbox field, and you can pick the color and style that you want. I picked purple for this one. It's my favorite color. The same with this over here. So I can go over that one script approval field again. It's a checkbox that I picked green for the script approval. Now, we have to add a last modified field. So this field is last modified time, and we always use those in our make automations. They're really necessary, especially if we want to use watch and Airtable. That will look to see what was updated most recently. So you need to have the last modified field so that actually can happen. Now looking at our services again, because I'm not hardwiring our services into the make automation, I am using a lookup field here, and it is bringing our services in from the avatar table behind this, and also bringing in the avatar scale. So the make automation is going to be accessing this table alone when you run it. Let's just pretend that I have this new, I just copied it, but we're pretending that this is somebody new. So right here I would go in and pick, okay, for this person, I'm going to pick Alex with no background because I know that they have a website. It's right there. And you can see when you pull that in, everything else is coming in with it over here. Now that we have this set up, I want to show you that there's things that we don't necessarily need to look at this table, because this is like incredibly overwhelming to look at. So we don't need this. We could hide that field. We don't need to see that. We need to see the video description. We want to see the published video for sure. We don't necessarily need to see last modified. So, we'll hide that. We need to see it only probably to troubleshoot some things that are going on. We don't need to see the avatar scale. So yeah, we could clean the table up and just leave it like this. Now we're going to jump into the first make module, and we're going to watch this magic happen. This is the make module that is going to be creating the script and the video description. The first thing we're going to do is add an Airtable watch record, and then we're going to put it in this table. The first thing you have to do though is you're going to have to authorize it. So click add, and then you're going to get an OA auth window and just go through the prompts. It's pretty easy. Look at the video outreach table, and you want to have that last modified field because that's the trigger field, and trigger fields can be last modified. Label field doesn't matter. I just put in first name. I put a limit of 10. Grid view doesn't really matter either. Okay, that's what we're going to click now. And next we're going to build out the filter here. So this filter is going to be, it's going to be looking to see if something has been tagged as a run script. And if it is, it's going to pass that along a specific path. So the first thing is we installed a router, and you could find those right by going to flow control and then selecting the router there. In this router model, we have two paths, and they are controlled by these filters again. So we have one path for if your URL exists. Okay, and then we have another path for no URL. For the no URL path here, we're going to add an Airtable update record. Now we're going to update this record again, and you're going to have to do an authorization for this. And that'll be the last time you have to do that for these automations. So you go to select your base, which in our case is social media automations. The table is video outreach. You want to put in the record ID, and that's going to come from the watch records. You want to make sure that you have the same record ID in there, and we're going to update the script. So in this case, because we don't have a website URL, there's no way for the system to go and research that person's account. And you know, this would be how it kind of happens sometimes in the business world. If someone submits on your website with a free email address versus a company email address, it's incredibly annoying because then you don't know what company they work for. But you know, I digress. So for this, we're going to have a stock script. Okay, up here we have a URL exists, and we have the condition on website URL, and the operators, basic operators exist. Okay, so this one is checking if it does not exist. So if it does exist, it now is going to do put in a make request and an HTTP. Put in a make request right here, and what we're going to do with this is we are testing to see if the URL is actually valid, and if we could actually get to it, if there's actually a website there. So we put it in here again. We take the website URL from here, click, put that in there, and that's all we have to do. Then we're going to set up another router here, and a filter. We're going to have breakoff points. The filter here is status code. So we're taking the status code from this check website. Now, the way make works, if it gives a status code of 200, that means that the operation worked, that there was no problems whatsoever. If the status code is not 200, then it'll send it down this path, which means the URL is not valid. That's what it means. And here we have an update again to the make table, and it's going to return into your Airtable. So going back to our Airtable, it will put something right here that says URL is not valid, which gives the opportunity to either fix the URL, find the correct URL, or just say, okay, we're not going to send it. Now, after testing the URL to see if it's valid or not, if it is valid, we again have a status code, and text update is equal to 200. So basically, this will always throw off the 200 code if it is valid. Then here we have to get a file. So we're going to put in an HTTP to get a file. We'll have the website URL again, and that's coming from our Airtable. Right here, you can see it. So we're going to just plug in the website URL right here, and what that's going to do is it's going to go to the website that we've determined is valid and pull the data from it. Here we threw in a text parser and HTML to text. And what we're doing is we're converting the HTML data that came from this HTTP. So I'm going to put that in there. We're converting that text before we send it off to Claude. So this first version of Claude here is going to be the website summary. And we're going to add a Claude module called create a prompt. If you don't already have a connection to Claude, you're going to have to create one, and that will either probably be using an API key for Claude right here. Yeah, an API key. So we're using the 3.5 Sonnet model with 4,000 tokens, and we're going to add a role here as user. Content is text, and then we have our prompt in here, which this will be built in our school. So go ahead and check that out. You can get it with just one click. And this is already loaded into our system. We're telling the AI that it's going to be provided with a copy of the website, which came from the previous step. And its task is to carefully read and comprehend the content of that website, analyze it, and the summary should be informative, helpful, to the point. We're telling it what to focus on, and then we're giving it the text at the bottom. So this we're saying here, here is the text that you're going to be focusing on, and we're pulling it from the text parser just by inserting that field here. I found with Claude that a lot of times when you're using the API, Claude will get really busy and he'll break. And when he breaks, it breaks the whole make automation. So we don't want that to shut down. So what we tend to do with Claude modules is put in a break. And again, I'll show you just how to do that. Let me just delete that real quick. So you right click in the center and you get this menu where you can rename add error handler. What to do is to put in a break. If we don't get a response from Claude, it will pause and try again. And it will wait for 15 minutes before it tries again. So I recommend always putting those in here. Okay, so we got the website summary one. Now we pass this off to the scriptwriter. It's pretty much set up the same, except when we get to the text, we're telling it to create a persuasive 80 to 100 word video script for business outreach, adhering to the following, starting exactly with, hey there, and here we're putting in the first name. And again, it's coming from our Airtable, pulling right from there. And we have a script, I am Kelly's AI assistant, comma, and then we're putting in the assistant's name, which again comes from the Airtable. And then here is our prompt again. These are all built into the script. So if you're in My Skool, one click, download it, or here right now, take a screenshot. I mean, as I scroll through this, you can take a screenshot. Go for it. I find it's a good hack. Take a screenshot and then throw it all into Claude or GPT saying, hey, can you turn this into a screenshot into text for me? And then you could take that and then just dump that in here. Yeah, it's a quick hack. Like, why not? Now we get down here, we're talking about the overview of their website, and we're including the text response. The text response from the previous model is what we'll be including. And we'll go here, text response, and then we'll go to the website information and our services. So basically, we're telling it to look at the website summary. Look at the website itself, and look at our services information, which comes from the Airtable. So we click this again. That is from our services, and if you click it down here, you can see information about our business. And that's what you put in here. You click to put that right there, and what we're doing here is we're just instructing the AI to write a script in the voice of the avatar and the avatar introducing itself to create a compelling reason that why they would want to engage with you and your services. So we're telling it to think of ways that your services would fit with the products or services that your prospect provides and how it would help them. And the AI is coming back and writing the script for the avatar. That's the script writer now. Video description. So what is a video description? Well, that's what's on the bottom here. Yeah, that's what's on the bottom. Something that just may catch their eye. You could see it here as well. Discovery of a high-power video. Email animation can showcase your stunning artificial grass. So we're just saying take one use case from the content, which is the script and the script that the writer made. So we're going to be clicking there and saying, okay, go back to the script writer. No, not that one, but this one. And here's the content, the text. So saying take one use case from that content and write a compelling reason for the business owner to watch the rest of your video. Keep this for between like 40 words or less, only with a compelling reason. Never reference the prompt. For example, never say, here's a compelling 40-word reason for the business owner to watch the rest of the video. You definitely have to do that. Sometimes you have to be very explicit with your prompts. And at the end of this, it's going to pass on to Synthesia. So we have an Airtable update, a record. Again, we're pulling that record ID from the first Airtable that we created, and we're updating. We're going to update the run script to done, so it changes that to done, and then we're going to update the script with the information that came from the scriptwriter, which is that content here that you just click, and that I'll put in here. So this one we're going to take that out, and then we're adding the video description back into the table, and that came from the last one, which is right up here. And that's all we really need. So always save as you're building this. Always save your make automations as you go. And then you may want to test this one. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go back into our Airtable. So remember, we brought in Alex here. So there's new. We're going to set this to run. Alex has a website URL. And now we're going to go back and we're just going to click run once. See what happens. Look at it go. So you can see it pulled something from the Airtable. It's got that. It's checking for the website. It had a URL, so it went up this path. The URL is valid, so it sent it down this path. And website summary, so you seem to have gotten stuck. Look, okay, so this is what I was talking about. This happens, and this is why we put in those breaks, right? You see this, here's a runtime error of 529. So that means that Claude is currently really overloaded. And it gets like that. So what is going to happen is this break is going to pause it for 15 minutes. All right. And then it'll pull it again. And you know, the other alternative I found in some cases is just replacing Claude with, ChatGPT. But, I never have this problem with GPT whatsoever, but I prefer Claude. Like, I really like using like my writing and my script writing for Claude. So if you're not in a rush, like got to get this out right now, then this scenario is fine because eventually you'll get through. You just got to wait 15 minutes. But if you need to be like, okay, I'm going to do this on demand, and when I click it, I want the whole thing to be done, and you don't want to be waiting in the background for things to happen. And so far, this is the first time since I built this that this actually happened. But it does happen with Claude. But while that's working, let's go do the fun part. Let's build out our video outreach Synthesia automation. Again, we're going to start with our Airtable. You're watching the same Airtable as before. You're watching the video outreach last modified. And everything's the same. I put the limit of 5 here. You really don't want to be creating too many videos at once. So the first thing we have is a script approved. If we got the thumbs up, and you remember if you go back to that table in here, you can go in, read the script, and then you can give it a thumbs up. It's looking through the table to see if it's approved. And if there is a thumbs up there, it will go ahead and send it through this automation. So it sees the script approved and it needs a video created. It's going to send it here again. So again, we are looking to see if the URL exists. And let's go down this path first with the URL whether URL does exist. Again, it's the same filter. URL exists as we've seen before. Website URL, basic operator exists. Then we're checking for validity. Again, we're doing the same thing as we did in the last one. You could probably just copy those over, to be honest. We're using a get, we're using a make request HTTP, a make request module with the get method. Then we bring it into a router, just like before. So here a filter is like, okay, it's not valid. So the status code does not equal 200. If the status code does not equal 200 coming off of this, coming off the status code in the HTTP module, that just means it's not valid. And what we're going to do is send it back to our Airtable and tell our table that this website URL is not valid, and that pops up like this. So it goes here if the website does exist. So if a status code does equal 200, which means everything works fine, then it's going to send it to Page Pixels. After you set up your Page Pixels account, you can make the connection here. So Airtable has built-in Page Pixel modules. It's really simple. All you're going to do is select Page Pixel screenshots. Let me show you how here. And you want to click Create a Screenshot of a web page. You're going to select that one, open it up, and you're just going to put in the website URL. It's as simple as that. That came off of the Airtable. Let's click that, go to the Airtable, go to website URL right here, and bring that in. And there, perfect. And let's click OK, and you're done with that. Now, the next thing we have to do is we have to get that screenshot. So once the screenshots are done, we have to get that and pass those over to Synthesia to use in its production. So again, we're going to go here and looking for it. Oh, we're going to select get a screenshot. You open that up. And also you're going to just use the screenshot configuration. Yeah, that field from the previous page pixels module, and just put that in here and you're done with that as well. Okay, then we're going to add a Synthesia module. So I'm just going to click that. You're going to have to create your own Synthesia connection. And if you have your account set up, that should be fairly simple to do. Now here's where we're going to bring in the avatar. The avatar that we want to use, so we're bringing that in from the Airtable again. Let me show you the avatar from the avatar table. Here we go. And what we're bringing in is right here. So you're looking for the one with the codes. Click that and that will populate in here. That tells us what avatar we're using for this particular generation background. Okay. This, I said, we are pulling in on a particular path. We have using a screenshot of the prospect's web page. So we're going to use that as the background. And from there, we're going to take the URL from the previous get screenshot. We want this one right here. So we're going to put that in here, and that's exactly where we want it. Then we have to send it off to Synthesia. The script text that we're pulling from Airtable, remember, and that was approved script that we have already given the green thumbs up. So that's coming from that first Airtable, and we're getting that script right here. We're not using separate audio. We're letting Synthesia create the audio for us. You do have the options here to change the language, which is actually pretty cool. Avatar voice, we have those already connected to our avatars, but you could change the voice if you wanted, like I've mentioned a few times. And there's a huge selection of voices here. Look at that. You remember how I talked about the size of the avatar on the screen before? We have the scale baked in with our avatars right here. So for this one, we're putting in the scale here. And that will pull the scale right from the table, rectangular. This is what we're doing, rectangular. So the avatar is on top of the screenshot. But you could select circular if you wanted. If you select circular, it's going to show a small circle with the avatar's face in it. And that may be appropriate in a lot of cases, just depends on what you're doing. Now, because we're doing a screenshot of the client's website, I like to put the avatar on the left. Center just seems to cover too much of, what we're trying to show, too much valuable real estate it covers of the prospect's website, so I always recommend putting it to the left. But again, pretty much your preference. So then because this takes a certain amount of time, we put in a tool module. Now, the tool module is going to be a sleep module, and we put a delay. I put a 3-minute delay in here, 180 seconds. That seems to be working fine. The next module is a publish video module. Now this is where it gets a little more complicated. And I would recommend using screen capture. Screen capture what I have here. So you're going to use your Synthesia connection. The URL is going to be a combination of this right here. According to the Synthesia API documentation, you want this exact thing here, and then you want your video ID. So the URL is going to be this, plus the video ID. The method we want to select here is patch, because we're updating an existing item. In the headers, we're going to have a key content type. The value is application JSON. These are typed in, then the body for this is JSON script. So take a screen capture of this. Let me just walk you through what we have here. So the title could be anything you want. The title is this line here where it says, "Hello, Jeremy," but you can make it anything you want, okay? So the description is the lines below the title. That can be pretty long if you want. I mentioned it before. I tested it up to 100 words, but I mean, if you're trying to cut it down and keep it around 30 to 40 words here, this should be something that would entice them to watch it. Okay, CTA settings. So CTA settings is basically, you can have this button right here. That's my click here to book a meeting button. You can make it say anything you want. You could have it go anywhere you want. I could have it go to my YouTube channel if I wanted. Look at that channel. So gorgeous. Subscribe to it. If you have one, you can have it go to your meeting calendar and you just put the description here, the label you want, and then where you want it to go, the URL. You know, this could also be dynamic too if you wanted to use fields and have different destinations for different avatars. And then you want to set the visibility to public so everyone can see it. So again, I would just screen capture this, and that will create the video that you see here, and it will publish it, and it'll give you a link that is public and for sharing. The last module in here is Airtable module, update a record. Again, we start with the record ID that we came in with. From there, published video. It's always going to be the prefix in the URL. And then the body ID, which comes from the last Synthesia module, which is this here. So just add that to it, and it will give you the custom URL you need to get the video. And that's it. So, did you think that was amazing? I hope you thought that was amazing, because I think it's amazing. And I'm going to continue to create content like that, stuff that pushes the boundaries of things that are already out there, stuff that can continue to move us forward. You can definitely expect in the future an extension build on this Airtable for email generation. And what I mean by that is right now, what I just showed you, the emails don't go out automatically. Once it generates everything, it's up to you to plop that into an email and to hit send. But I'm going to make it possible that we can automate this whole thing. But just stay tuned, because we didn't have time to go over that today, but we will go over it in another video very soon. I appreciate y'all watching. I hope that you always practice these tutorials. As I say, that's the best way to learn. You also have the option of joining My Skool, the AI Marketing Automation Lab. This template that we just went over is in the school. It's ready for you to download, all set up, no build of yours required whatsoever. That's the beauty of joining the school, and also the beauty of it is that you become a part of a community where everybody is enthusiastic about AI, everybody's adding on to each other's projects and automations, and I'm really excited to grow the community, and I hope that you join us. Please like and subscribe. I definitely am looking forward to putting out more content for you. I'll see you next time.